Hey everybody, and welcome to another Sunday Paint and Talk. We are once again live with the CGN crew. We got Josh, we got Big Aaron, we got Sean, and we got myself. Not Little Aaron. Definitely not Little Aaron.
Not that guy.
We are going to be talking about all sorts of fun things. And remember, definitely not Little Aaron. Not that guy. We are going to be talking about all sorts of fun things. And remember,
Are you watching yourself again?
On my phone. Sorry about that.
Nice
Remember,
work,
if you subscribe now, as soon as we hit 8,000 subscribers, and we are getting so close, then we are going to be giving away the Indominus box set.
Getting pretty close, huh? I can't wait to see who gets it.
I can't wait to see who gets it either. We are so close. We got a bunch of things to talk about. First of all, you might see something on the board. This is a preview for Tuesday's This Old 40K. It is the diorama, the trash terrain monster project that I have been working on with DM Scotty. I am waiting for the votes to come in. Of course, the votes are going to be voted on by the three of you and Miranda.
We need to see everything that's in the competition.
Well, yeah. DM Scotty's got to upload his pictures to the chat. I don't even know.
Slacking.
He's at work because he's working. Tonight, I am working on my Lieutenant Emulus. Is that his name?
Nice. I like that guy.
Oh, he has a good pose, yeah.
He does have a good pose. I also have a little bit of a headache, so... Hey, you know what I just noticed?
What?
It has the same round sprue thing that you pointed out in your unboxing of the Adepticon stuff.
Which one has it?
Lieutenant Emulus has a round back sprue instead of
A round back sprue.
Yeah. The sprues are round instead of square.
Oh, okay. The corners?
No, like the whole thing.
The whole sprue.
Is a rounded off instead of like a flat kind of beveled edge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oops. Apparently I cut the instructions, which is real bad for me, even though it's only 5 pieces.
Yeah, it's real bad for you.
Just
need
don't
those
put them off and
instructions.
put them into a bag and then expect you to figure out how to put them back together.
So we have a bunch of things to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk about some Guild Ball. We are going to talk about the new scary Terminators that are coming out. We're going to talk about the First Legion. They had a nice model up there. What else are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Sean's Bob Vila project that he has going on.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna start grinding for us again.
Literally,
I got a grinder, man. Don't tempt me.
we are gonna talk about Sean's rack.
Hey.
And by rack, I mean painting rack.
Of course.
I'm actually quite interested. Can you show us your painting rack?
Yeah, so it's actually super straightforward, and the long story short was I got on the interweb and I was looking around at paint racks, and they were all way too expensive for some MDF that didn't work the way I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
Your
So
screwdriver's still stupid loud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's the analog one. I can't help you. So it's I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's going to have 5 shelves. It's going to be this wide, and it's going to sit up against the wall. So it's about 30 inches wide. I literally used a saw and one of those 90-degree jigs, just like a little hand saw that you would cut a tree with. I have my other planks cut to the right length.
So wait,
and
is this custom designed?
yeah, this is like the easiest thing you could ever possibly do with screws and wood. Like, all that really matters, and I'm like half-assing it so hard. Like, my measurements are bullshit. Everything's like lined up by hand with a Sharpie. You know, there's no science to it, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be flat enough to hold my paint.
I really want to film everything you do relating to hobby. Everything you do makes me so happy.
I'm one of those guys that I'm like, measure it once and cut it.
Yes, you measure 0 and cut it.
And
like
my dad is
Just eyeball.
yeah.
I'm
My
a-
dad's like, we'll measure the same thing like 30 times.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because you're supposed
yeah,
to.
cut the angle.
Yeah,
Right.
measure
Cut the
twice,
angle.
measure twice, cut once, and if you're me, measure 5 times, cut once, and then still screw it up.
And but like that's super cool if you're doing something super fine detail. Your piece has to fit exactly where it's supposed to. But like, let's pretend you're cutting tile at the corner of your bathroom.
Right.
Who
Or
cares if it's an
wait,
eighth of an inch off?
what?
You're about to put molding over it.
You're worried you would allow oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. You're about to put a half-inch round over it. Who cares if it's a quarter inch off? No one, because it's gonna get covered. This is to hold bottles of paint.
Yes, and
No one gives a shit what this looks
but
like.
what if
as
it's
long as
not
it
what
holds
if it's
the
not
paint.
level? What if it's not level? And
As
all,
long
and
as
all
it's
your
level
paints roll
enough
off.
to stand, it'll be all right. So
Oh,
that
That's
was the
very
one thing.
intense.
Yeah, but that was the one thing that I paid attention to and actually cared about was, is it going to sit level? And that's not a problem.
Okay, this is a real dumb push fit model.
I hate push fit models.
Hey, Sean, have you just seen those paint rack, the nail polish racks? That's what I use. Sounds like
I have, but I have a really weird limited kind of space situation.
Okay.
I have my desk up against a shelf. And
I
the back
screwed
of
up
a
my miniature. I
refrigerator.
screwed up the miniature already.
Already?
Yeah.
Sorry, Aaron. You should have spent your time building
Okay, I
a
fixed
paint rack instead. But since
Man.
I'm not allowed to drill holes on camera.
You're allowed
You're
to
not.
drill holes on camera. We just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'll go ahead and I'll make because I gotta measure some more stuff out. But then I'll go on mute to finish my
I
holes
love-
because I gotta.
You know what? This is actually a really good lesson. We are not gonna hobby shame anybody. The whole point of
Ready
our
for the hobby shame.
the whole point of this of these live hobbies is to hobby with us and do what you need to do. So you know what? If you need to build a paint rack for your hobby room, I hope that you join us and build a paint rack, because whatever you need to do to get yourself in a good state of mind and working on projects is what you should be doing. And so long as I don't have to hear you drill through headphones, then you should definitely be doing it.
Guess what my second project is if I get this all squared away and everything's fine.
A custom-made paintbrush rack.
No, well, that would be awesome, and I should probably attach something like that to this. I'm going to replace the keyboard and armrest on a new Lenovo tiny computer because my 2-year-old ate all the buttons.
Oh no.
She didn't actually ingest them, but she used her little hamster teeth to pry them off and destroy those things.
What did you have? What kind of child did you make?
I don't know, man. My wife and I have this theory now that the first one is that it's genetically programmed by the engineers or whoever's in charge. But you can see all my missing keys, right? That's more than one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And normally, like, if these just pop off, you can pop them back on. They've got a little
Yeah.
scissor switch underneath them, as long as you get it all lined up and stuff and none of the pins are broken off.
But not when
they go
people
back
eat
on
them.
Not when hamsters chew them off the keyboard.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be playing video games and eating chocolate or something.
Yes.
I keep telling my daughter that, and she keeps leaving the computer where my 2-year-old can get it.
I have a problem.
Thus we are where we are.
I did a real bad job of planning what I'm gonna do tonight, and my model's built.
Did you even clean your model?
It is press fit.
So it doesn't mean that it's not mold.
Well, and,
Yeah,
and
there
some
are
of
some
those
mold lines.
characters,
Alright,
some of those characters come out really, really nice.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
not a
do
whole
not.
there's not a whole lot of mold lines. The backpack is pretty bad. I actually don't worry too much about mold lines. At least the mold lines back in the day used to be so bad, but they're not nearly as bad anymore.
I agree.
Yeah, they used to be real bad. But you know what? As the model ages, basically as the mold ages, you get worse and worse mold lines.
Right.
Things
Yeah.
start separating and stuff. So the older a model is, it's gonna be harder. So the newer stuff is always better than the older stuff.
Okay. I gotta figure out what else I'm doing. While I'm figuring out what else I'm doing, first I'm gonna taunt Josh with his tape measure. Yep, that's right.
No, don't do
I
it.
still have your sweet, awesome tape measure that is like the best thing that Games Workshop ever made.
Oh, the skull one?
Yes. So I'm just gonna taunt that.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Let's talk about Guild Ball.
Oh, Guild Ball.
Let's talk about our experience with Guild Ball first.
Sure.
It's all Big Aaron's fault.
Here's my experience with Guild Ball. Josh walks into a room. Hey, there's a really fun new game that I'm playing. You should all play it with me. And then we bought it. And then we played it with him one time. And then he was like, hey, there's a new fun game that you should be playing. It's called Arena Rex. That is my experience with Guild Ball.
Well, so Josh and I mean, we got into it together. And I think we both had, like, together had, like, all the starting factions. Anyone not play Guild Ball, it's basically murder soccer.
It came out at the same time as Blood Bowl.
It didn't come out at the same time at all.
Arena Rex, you mean?
No, the Guild Ball came out around the same time that GW re-released Blood Bowl.
Okay.
Oh, re-release. Yeah. So it was like, what, in kind of that weird time, like around when Warhammer Fantasy died, and like around AOS was picking up, and 40K was in 7th edition and sucked, and like there was a lot more of playing other games in that time. And it came out just at the right time. It was a fun murder soccer game where it was a skirmishy game, very thematic, had kind of a steampunky vibe.
I bought an army that where everybody was standing. Everybody was made of wood.
Okay.
That's what I remember about it.
He bought Alchemists.
No. Alchemists are not wood. The engineers are wood. There's a bunch of like the wooden football runner guys and the automatons and the dude with the like creepy crawly like spider.
Then that's what he
Yes,
got.
the
What
creepy
are they
crawl-
called?
the creepy crawler.
Alchemists?
Yeah.
I had the Alchemist. That was
They
my
were
He had Alchemists.
they were terrible models to put together.
Yeah, the original run was all of metal, pewter, whatever. It was later that they started making them out of plastic, but it was kind of more of that plastic that you find on board games than you do with like GW plastics or other like actual mini companies. So yeah, it was a really fun game. What I liked about it was you had multiple options on how to win the game because you're playing soccer, so you can kick the ball and score goals, or you can murderize people on the field and you can get points that way. It was one of those where they ended up making, because each faction was so specific in kind of like how they played, they started making a lot of little factions, and they just kind of, they didn't make any more space for them to become creative at all, because
They made a ton.
What's that?
They made a ton of factions.
So
They
I
just pumped those out.
like I don't know what their marketing plan was, but I do remember that their booth was freaking awesome at Adepticon, and that whatever Adepticon that was, they were the winner. Like everybody was talking about Guild Ball after that Adepticon.
That was just like only 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
It started as a Kickstarter that went really well. These were guys that just like loved games. I don't even know if they were really much in the gaming industry before that.
They were big War Machine players from Europe.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh,
now.
I think I remember that now. Yes, because there was some reminiscence or feelings of War Machine in there, but again, it was just more of a quick skirmishy sort of game, and you're playing on a small field, and you're trying to score points and do some really fun creative tricks. It was one of those games where, like, you know, sometimes in 40K you like stack a bunch of abilities and you're like, oh, I got this great combo off, but it just kind of feels like you just stacked a bunch of stuff together to make one thing happen. Whereas in Guild Ball, it actually felt like you were doing combos where like this person was going to use this special ability and then fade and kick the ball over to this other person that's on your team. And that person is going to do something cool and then they're going to score, rather than, okay, I'm going to load this guy up with all of the rerolls and blah, 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 and now he auto hits and -3 to this and +2 damage here, and you just die.
Can I just say I don't understand at all, the inkling to play murder sports miniature games. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Why do you care about soccer and football in your miniature game? I don't get it.
Interesting that you say that.
I don't get it at all. Like, it literally would never cross my... It had never, ever crossed my mind, ever, when I was playing a miniature game. That'd be like, you know what would be really awesome? If, like, while playing Chronopia, if it was also basketball.
Well, have you really ever been into sports, though?
Well, I was a state athlete who ran track. I specialized in the 400 and the 800. I was fast enough to get to state and slow enough to get last at state. I played soccer. I was on swim team. I was on golf team. So I'm going to go with yeah.
No. Tell me what sports you watch right now religiously.
Do I watch sports religiously?
Yes, are you into actual, like, sports, like, team sports? Like, do you watch sport games?
I like going to the Bears twice a year.
Okay, so the answer is no.
Right. Correct.
Okay, so me neither. But let me tell you, I actually really found Guild Ball fun at first. I hate sports. I can't understand people
I'm not a fan of sports.
watching sports. So it's natural for us to feel that way. I didn't want to play Guild Ball, but Thomas talked me into it.
I just have to say, like, just that sentence right there of someone being the introducer who isn't Josh is unbelievable to me.
I was the one to introduce you, Josh?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Okay, well, now I've built both of my stupid press fit lieutenants.
Congrats.
And
exactly the same in 10 minutes. Why? Why do you even bother?
And I found out that their sprue spins real well. Like, it's like a nice little top. Okay, so then why do you care about it?
Why do I care
Because the
about
game
football?
the mechanics were fun.
Because it has very fun, interesting mechanics. That wasn't just about, all right, I have a regiment of dudes and I'm going to roll buckets of dice to just try and kill your dudes. It was just a very different thing. Each character felt flavorful by having its own abilities and its own stat card. The game felt pretty fluid. It never at one point did it really feel like I was just sitting around waiting for my opponent to do something and waiting for it to be my turn. You really kind of had to be watching, like, all right, where's the ball? What's this person going to do? Because it was alternating activations. It was kind of like, all right, if I'm going to do this guy or move this guy and do that super cool play, he could have his butcher dude come up with a meat cleaver and whack me in the back of the head with it. I don't want my guy to be out because then he's out for a turn and my opponent can get some points. Like, there's a lot more to it than just, I'm going to push forward and I'm going to hold these 3 objectives and pew, pew, pew. It was just something different. It was faster and it was in a time. I see you holding what you're going to build next. Oh, man. Are you going to start building the gorilla?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All
What's
right,
the
well, I
gorilla?
want to finish up about Guild Ball. So, it was super popular. I don't know about in everyone's region, but it was really popular. The first probably 6 months that it came out, it just blew up, and everyone was playing it. There were tournaments at all the shops. There's already people like, oh man, this guy is like one of the best in the nation Guild Ball players. Like, and then it just kind of fizzled, and it was a kind of a slow. At least in like the Chicago area, I know it's different all over, but it was so huge, and then all of a sudden it just kind of faded out.
Yeah, it was very strange how that happened.
But
that feels like I don't know what to say. Like, that's just miniature. That's just these side hustle miniature games. It's been like that for forever.
I know what you're saying. Games come and go. It was just like, it very much seemed like everyone was super hyped about it. They completely sold out at that Adepticon.
Yeah.
They literally sold out of everything. And then it was just like, it was super great. Everyone was playing it, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fell apart. But they kept making models. They started putting out different box sets, different factions. There was kind of like mini sub-factions, whereas you might be taking like, 6-8 dudes onto the pitch. But there's like 20 different alchemists that you can pick up. But then they started making these like mini factions that were just like, all right, you got your 1 leader and your 6 dudes, and that's it. Like, just go. That's it. And they were a lot more specialized. And then they started putting out a little terrain, and they went from the metals to the plastics. Then they started putting out a couple limited edition like sculpts that you could only buy online. But at that point, people weren't really playing or talking about it. It was still a fun game, but just no communities were around anymore. So, out of the blue, just on August 10th, so just a couple weeks ago, just shy of 2 weeks ago, on the Guild Ball page, they put out an announcement stating that as of September 1st, they're no longer supporting it. They're no longer selling any models. There was supposed to be a 5th edition that they always intended to be the final edition for Guild Ball, but they're not even going to bother with that. They talked very briefly about the 4 other mini guilds that they were still going to put out, and they were just like, oh man, wouldn't it have been cool if we actually did this stuff?
That was so shady.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, it sure would have been. It would have been way cool if you just didn't tell me at all about the sub-faction for my alchemist that now I'll never see. Super. But yeah, they're just like, well, COVID, and we had already intended this to end at some point, and yada, yada, yada. We're just going to end it now. We're not going to put out anything else. We're not even going to put out rules.
Do they have any other games?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, yes. And see, that's the thing is Guild Ball was a game that got them into as a tabletop game company. And then they started working on the licensing for stuff. And if you remember, they got the Resident Evil board game and the Dark Souls board game.
Okay, I didn't realize that they did that.
Dark Souls board game that's what seemed like suddenly became their big moneymaker.
Yeah.
And that's what they started just rolling in the cash. They also, you might have seen Dungeons and Doggies.
No.
You haven't seen those? They're just little models for.
Yes, I didn't know that they were Dungeons and Doggies.
Yeah, they do the Dungeons and Doggies stuff. They made a Horizon Zero Dawn board game. Then they put out this game very recently, within the past year or so, called God Tier. Now, if you went to last year's Adepticon, you got the swag bag, you got a free model of God Tier in there, and the game wasn't out yet. Most of you probably got, well, Sean, you weren't there last year. Josh, you don't usually get the swag bags, do you?
No.
So, Aaron, you probably have one rattling around somewhere. Kind of a boring looking character, but they brought out God Tier. The packaging looks almost the exact same as how they started packaging the Guild Ball stuff, which they're a company, they're going to package stuff the same. But the setups are kind of the same. It's another skirmish game where you have like 1 dude and like 4 little minions, and you go and smash face. That game was dead on arrival.
Yeah. No interest.
No interest from anyone, it seems like. Whatsoever. So, it seems like now they're just going more of the way of the board game stuff and working on getting other companies' IP, like Dark Souls, Resident Evil, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn was the game where you ran around as that cool chick who could shoot the bow.
And hunt dinos, right?
Yes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I really, really liked that game until, so there's like this ultimate set of gear, right? And in order to do the ultimate set of gear, you have to finish all these challenges, and all the challenges were pre-set up, like before she existed, right? They were for other hunters. And then you go to do one of the challenges, and they're like, well, we're aware of your super magical abilities, so we've changed this challenge to conform with your super magic powers. And I turned the game off, and I didn't turn it back on. And I was like, there is no way that this superhero girl who's like the first person in whatever 10,000 years to interface with the technology and be able to use it, who's literally been running around for like a week in game time, has already made enough of an impact to have an entire guild change their whole thing. And it just totally took me out of the game. And I was just like, nope, I'm done. But it was really fun until that point.
Yeah, you were really playing that game.
Beginning. Sounds like something that would happen in the beginning of the game.
No, this was hundreds of hours into the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hundreds of hours.
Hundreds. All right. Well, so yeah, it's kind of a shame because I would still every once in a while, I wouldn't go out and like deliberately buy Guild Ball stuff, but at like the Games Plus auctions, if there was like an army going for super cheap or like a team going for super dirt cheap, I would still pick it up. I still probably have like 6 factions for Guild Ball. But I'm not going to get rid of them. It's a fun game. It's one that I would still break out with friends, and I think it's easy enough to that you could teach someone that had like at least a little bit of tabletop gaming experience. Like I wouldn't say that it's a gateway game really, but
So what's your reaction to all the community stuff
Well,
that people say?
hold on. Before we get to that, let's talk about how the game evolved too. When
okay.
the game first came out, everyone was super excited, learning how to play the game. And the cool and terrible thing about it is the huge depth of gameplay in it. And what I mean by that is that the game could be very, 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 crunchy. One tiny little move error could cost you a ton of points or a bunch of other stuff. And as the game, as people got familiar with the games, instead of being like fun pickup game stuff, became like brutal, multiple hour-long games. Did you see that, Aaron?
Well, that's what I was gonna. That's the reaction that I was seeing from the community. Was just a lot of this like, well, the game. Like the memes that are coming out are, here's a game about scoring where nobody ever scores.
Yeah.
Right.
Because right. Well, and that's one of the problems if you have a game that has multiple ways to win, it's always the community's gonna go with whatever's the easier way to win. Right. And it became easier to score points and win the game by just
killing people. Yeah.
Where it's a game that you're supposed to be scoring points, and you're on a soccer field, you're playing soccer. You would think that, okay, you can have some points for taking out an opponent, but clearly the point of the objective of the game should be scoring.
Right.
And that just wasn't it anymore. Yeah. So all the teams that were really good at scoring were usually glass cannons and like things like the Fishermen, where you could just like have your biggest, beefiest meathead walk up to him and just smash him upside the head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there were definite flaws with the game. By no means was it perfect whatsoever, or else people would actually have played it more longer than 6 months.
Yeah.
But I think it was in a unique space within tabletop gaming.
But how was it unique when there was Blood Bowl and Arena Rex and
Blood Bowl is a board game compared to Arena Rex and to
Blood Bowl is a lot about playing the seasons and playing the campaign itself and building your roster and everything. Where they did have like season play at some point. It wasn't until, and they called editions seasons, so that was a little confusing. But and Arena Rex was something that came out a little bit after, similar, but that's only like 3-on-3 and different mechanics altogether. It's just
but I mean, it's just another small skirmish game that in the end became about killing. I don't know. It didn't. I'm not saying that it wasn't fun, that I didn't like it. It didn't strike me as novel, I guess.
Well, it's the first and only game that was a true miniature game that was designed for that. Blood Bowl is not a miniatures game. Blood Bowl could be played with tokens, and it doesn't even matter. The movement is just like square by square. You don't have to measure or do anything like that. There's no. It's a board game. It's not a miniature game.
Okay.
Tokens, though, one cool thing that they did, and all the way up until the end, was they put out online PDFs of paper versions of their models. So if you wanted to try something out and play around with it, same with the rules and everything, you can go buy the pack of cards for your faction for the season and whatever changes they had. But they put out all the rules and everything for free online. So if you just wanted to try out, like, maybe I want to try out the Fisherman, and I've been playing the Butchers, and I want to try actually trying to score something. Cool. I'll just go download the PDFs, print out the dudes, cut them out, slap them on a base that I have, and I can just play those, and that's completely legal and fine by them.
I feel like at that time there was a whole bunch of there was like a whole papercraft movement happening. Because I think there was also unofficial papercraft for Kings of War at that same time. And 40K. I feel like there was like this, hey, you could just play miniatures with papercraft.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit more of a popular thing then. And now people are like, well, I just have a 3D printer, so I'm just going to do that.
Well, I have to say, for a garage kit, this thing is really nice.
Yeah, it was unceremoniously just kind of like, all right, well, we're done with it. We're going to move on. Who knows, what they're going to do. They could always bring it back in a couple years. It looks like, at least for now, they're going to keep the IP. And maybe they'll do something later, but it's done for now. So
I feel like Malifaux also took a bunch of thunder from it.
Malifaux has been around a lot longer, though.
But it had a whole reinvigoration at the same time.
I just think that was just the time that was like the really good time and point for smaller games, because Games Workshop was still struggling at that time, and they were just starting to try and change things up. So there was a lot of space for a lot of other games to get some play.
Sure.
Josh, you're on the bridge of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah, they've got a couple of those going on.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, how's your building going along?
It's going all right, man. I had to cut the boards down so they were exactly even.
Okay.
And go try to find some limes, which I was not able to locate.
Limes?
Limes, like the green fruit.
Why do you need limes?
Because my wife said to find them.
Oh. I thought it was for the build.
Oh, I just came up with a nasty combo, bro. Bro!
It's purple. It's purple, right? Purple?
No, I found these two angels. I'm making a magic deck. That's my hobby for tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You found two angels?
Sephira Sky's Blade is other creatures you control are indestructible. And then Aegis Angel, when it enters the battlefield, target other permanent is indestructible.
Yep.
So they're all indestructible, baby. I like it.
Yeah,
it is a combo.
Those are standard cards for that deck. You're not using CEDH?
No, I literally went through all of the cards that I have and found all the demons, dragons, and angels. And then when I went to Grognard's, because they didn't have, I went to go get the Marvel Crisis Protocol new stuff, right? But they didn't have the new stuff. So I ended up just buying a bunch of their like 30-cent bulk rares and a couple of mana rocks, and I'm making the deck.
Oh wow!
I did
awesome.
spend some money on Rakdos, the Showstopper, because they only had a foil version of him, but I wanted to make a commander deck of him eventually. So,
how much did that run you?
$3, baby. This is nothing but budget here. I can't afford to play.
You're like, I dropped some money on this. You spent more money on your pack of masters than you did on.
I did. Well, I bought the pack of masters and had got Kalia in it, so I was like, well, now I'm gonna do this.
You can put Rakdos in your Kalia deck.
That's why I did it, because until I get my Rakdos deck going, I'm just gonna play Kalia.
But you don't even want that Rakdos as your commander. You want the other Rakdos. You want the real Rakdos.
I'm gonna play this Rakdos. I want all demons, imps, and devils in my deck.
No, I'm saying, but when you make your Rakdos deck,
yeah,
you want the other Rakdos. You want Rakdos, not the flipper.
No, I want the flipper. That's what I'm saying. I want the
He
flipper.
is Josh the Flipper.
Right.
I'm the flipper. I'm going to make it more of a chaos deck, so like random stuff's going to happen.
Ooh, you're gonna make people mad. They don't like chaos.
Yeah, but it's not like I'm going to make ultimate, like, infinite combos and crunch people. It's just going to be goofy.
Gonna make people mad.
I think people are more mad at infinite combos than goofy stuff.
I think people are the most mad at group hug decks
Why?
because they literally shut the game down with no win con.
Oh, that's true.
It's like
Well, I have nothing to
it's
do
like
that.
Blood Moon, Winter Orb, Crawl Space, Smothering Tide.
I have none of that
Okay.
stuff. I don't know what any of that stuff does except for Winter Orb.
So Blood Moon makes everything.
Oh, I know Blood Moon, yeah.
Everything one
As
color.
a mountain.
Yeah.
Right.
So now everybody now everything's a mountain. You put the thing in that says you're only allowed to untap one land per turn,
Which is awesome. Winter Orb.
Winter Orb, and you put in Crawl Space, which says you have to pay 2 to attack. It's just like shut down.
What's the other card that you said?
Smothering Tide. So Smothering Tide says every single time that you play a spell, whenever your opponent plays a spell, if they don't pay 2, you generate a treasure token.
Oh.
And you're playing in a 4-player game where people are, spending lots of mana. So essentially, you're generating, like, your mana ramp is just insane. Or it's taxing everybody to the point where
They die.
they just can't play. And then you play, I forgot the commander, but it's the commander that allows defenders to attack and flips their power and toughness.
Yeah.
So you play that commander, and then you just lock the game down. And so now everything is like 4/4. Hey, Patrick! Everything's like 4/4 defender, and nothing untaps. Anyways, they're called group hug decks. And you can use those tactics to win, to slow the game down so you can get to a win condition. But there's a bunch of people who use it to just stall out the game.
Yeah, that sounds awful. It kind of reminds me though of a deck I had before EDH was popular, where you just make group decks. And I had a Chains of Mephistopheles, Anvil of Bogarden Megrim deck with Ensnaring Bridge. So every time you drew a card, you had to discard 2 cards. And every time you discarded a card, you took 2 damage, and nobody had any cards in their hand, and nobody could attack.
Yeah, that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you have a win con. But
Well, yeah,
if you don't-
Megrim.
Where did his fucking head go? Oh, here it is.
Watch your language,
Hey.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Patrick's on. He has fragile ears.
Sorry, Patrick.
Fragile.
Sorry, Patrick.
All right, so I've just watched.
So what do you think, like, outside of just Guild Ball in general, what do you think about the smaller game company startup games in general in terms of hobbying?
I think that there was a much larger space for them again several years ago, but now everyone plays GW games almost exclusively. If you look on the mini trading forums, there's there's Bartertown, there's the one on Reddit. I'm usually on Reddit, so I just happen to see them the most. And if you ever look on there, it's nothing but GW products. It's not other games. Every once in a while, you'll see something Star Wars related, but you don't see anything like that. And I don't think there's not the space for them now, especially now that people can't be getting together. Those little games, those smaller studios, they're going to struggle, right? Because they don't have the communities to begin with.
See, it's interesting because the article that I was reading was that the smaller studios are gaining a huge amount of traction right now. Specifically, miniature games that you can play with 4 people because families are buying them. And so there's like all these Kickstarters of these smaller miniature games that are in between, like a board game and a miniature game
Like
that
what?
are doing really well. I had it open. And I don't have it now. I'm
Well,
sorry.
here's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of popularity where you got like Raging Heroes and a couple of other gaming like miniature makers going just digital and selling STL files with a monthly subscription. And I think that's what the future is going to look like for GW. In 5 years, the average person will have access to a nice 3D printer at a decent price.
I mean, I can tell you that additive manufacturing, even with the laser, has its limits in terms of what you can make. But I don't.
Yeah, I'm talking about like 5 years though. 5 years.
But I'm not. But it's not about the quality. It's about the process. It's about additive manufacturing itself. No matter how detailed you get, has a limit in terms of as compared to injection molding.
Sure, but the point is that no one's going to be paying $60 for a 5-man unit from GW in 5 years.
I don't know.
Okay.
Have you seen some of the sculpts that you can get for basically $10 a month?
Right.
Absolutely. All you need is
they're
a
insane.
$1,000 3D printer to make it look good.
And
No,
it
you
still
do not.
doesn't look. And it still doesn't look as. Anyways.
Yeah, and
It's
you
fine.
need a tweak.
Right now, you can actually get like our buddy Felix. You know Felix. He has his own printer and he prints his monthly purchase, and the models look great. He paints them up every month. They look insane. They're super good. He does not have a very good printer. He's got like a decent one. And I'm telling you, it's going to be selling STL files and then actually creating the rules is where that's going to be.
I think
no
the
one's
whole
gonna
selling STL files, I think you're going to see there's a lot of creativity and people are doing a lot with that right now, but I think that's overhyped at the moment. Like everyone and their brother is doing a Patreon, pay $10 a month. You get a whole bunch of our whatever we decide to put out that month, right? Which is cool because then that also feeds into what is it? My mini. What's it called?
Huh?
Mini Factory. Are you guys familiar with My Mini Factory?
No,
Yes.
I don't even know what it is.
So My Mini Factory is basically all those people that have all their like Patreon things where you can pay some monies per month. It's basically the dumpster where all those STL files eventually end up. So that if you didn't, you're sub for this month, but you didn't get like 2 months ago and you want the model from 2 months ago, well, eventually they might show up on My Mini Factory.
So Patrick is saying small Dead Zone, Frostgrave, and Rangers are doing extremely well. Smaller studios with games that have solo mode.
Frostgrave.
Frostgrave.
They tried to do that at Grognard's a little bit ago. I've seen one person playing that game prior to COVID. I don't know how it's going. What are the other two?
Dead Zone, Rangers.
Rangers.
By Rangers, I assume he means
Rangers.
the Rangers board game from the Rangers movie that I produced, which is finally 4 years later done.
And where can I get a copy?
You can get a copy when the boat from China arrives in 6 to 9 weeks,
Nice.
Awesome.
which is a lot sooner than 4 years.
Is that the Kickstarter people only? Or did you order extra boxes?
We have 500 copies,
Nice.
and I believe 100 are sold from Kickstarter.
So there's a
And-
very limited amount.
So there's a we can order more if it goes gangbuster, but I think what we're gonna do is there are 40 DVD copies of the movie, and so I think we are gonna do there's 40 or 50, I don't remember. Dave is gonna sign the DVD copies of the movie in the boxes, and we're gonna sell 40 like limited edition bundles with the signatures,
Yeah.
and then the rest are gonna go for sale, and then they'll probably go to CGN and Mini Wargaming for giveaways and Christmas presents for the next 20 years.
Well, that's cool though.
So you guys know what you're getting.
Bat reports. Game reports.
But it is fun to finally like have it, and I was able to get the CGN logo onto the box finally, so that was
Really?
great.
Nice.
Yeah. They did an update and they removed They removed my name and Mini Wargaming's logo from the box.
What?
I'm gonna go with an error. I'm just gonna say with an error. But we got that fixed.
Awesome.
And it's a fun game. It is a co-op. It's a co-op game where you protect cities from roving hordes of orcs and ogres.
Patrick says that you have 2 separate streams open.
I
Are you
thought
doing an echo or something?
there's not supposed to be. I deleted one of the streams. There's 2 streams open. Of course.
I mean, we have twice the audience right now. What's up, other people in Bizarre World that we don't see?
Yeah.
There was
down.
there was another one open. I did start 2 by accident. There was one that was not scheduled and one that was scheduled, but I thought I deleted.
Was one of them an 18 and up one, and we can swear on that one, but not this one?
No, they were both.
Oh man. So, did anyone like the any of the reveals from GW this past weekend? Speaking of mini games,
Yeah, let's take a look at the preview, and I can put up the picture of what do you want to start with? The picture of the Primarch or the picture of the Terminators?
well, let's just start with the Primarch. Well, there's the 30K, so the Primarch, we should let people know that's Lionel for 30K. So
Yeah.
people are going to be excited there. Dark Angels coming to 30K. They got some very cool looking dudes that I think Sean's going to have fun kit bashing.
There are 2 streams going simultaneously.
Oh, really? Oh, we're
That's
twice as
bizarre.
popular. So then you also got there's Night Lord Terminators that are super cool for 30K models. I wish 30K models still look kind of small to me. Like they didn't scale those guys up, so they look like they would be super awesome. But I think they would look like kind of puny and tiny in 40K nowadays, especially with everything getting Hulkanized.
Okay, so hold on really quickly. So Shivan and Jeremy are on the second stream,
Oh, I was wondering what happened to Shivan.
and Patrick and Steve and Jeremy are now on this one. So Shivan, I'm going to end this second stream because there's only one person watching, and I think it's you. Join the other one, and hopefully when I push this button, it doesn't break everything. Are we ready?
Okay,
Break
let's see.
everything.
I'm ready.
All right, everyone, hang on.
3, 2, 1.
Ah!
Are we still live?
I'm still alive.
I'm still
alive.
here. You still here?
I'm still here.
Jeremy, you there? Patrick, we got everyone?
I think it's still going.
Okay, we're good. All right.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you, Jeremy.
Hit that like button on your way out. I like the way you think, Patrick. 30K stuff, 40K. There was pretty little as far as 40K stuff. There was a Necron gunslinger, right?
Yeah.
6-shooter. I'm looking forward to that guy. Blasting his
cool.
way through. He looks cool.
I hope he's good, dude. I really hope he's good. That's
I mean,
all I
he's a
gotta
new
say.
model, so he'll be good for 3 months,
Uh-oh.
right?
What?
No, it's unrelated. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hope that he's good too. I think he will be. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting a few more like 40K models to be revealed. They showed that they have new terrain coming out. They kind of sneak previewed one of the box sets for that terrain. Missed a little bit of the conversation. Jeremy and I were on the phone. He worked out. Oh, okay. Patrick and Jeremy's on the case over here. We had no idea what was going on. We wouldn't know. What else was out for 40K? There was anything else really? No.
Well, there's those Terminators, which I'll scroll down to.
But not new 40K Terminators, were they?
Oh, are these 30K?
Yeah, they're 30K.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But that's okay because
they're
you
gorgeous.
just put you just put different guns on them, and you got 40K Terminators.
Don't they look so cool?
They do. They make me want to play Night Lords.
So
They
here's
do look really cool, honestly.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing? Tell
I'm
me.
doing this Stefano Studios Gorilla, which is from the Industria Mechanica set. Absolutely one of my most favorite garage kit miniature designers. So they've done something interesting. They have the flashing, and it looks like on the flashing they have hand carved in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm supposed to cut this flashing off. But on the instructions, there's no numbers. So I'm just going to have to guess.
Yep. And this is where you're going to destroy it, because if you even have the instructions, you're not very good at this.
Oh my god.
That was
I
brutal.
agree, Aaron.
That was brutal.
Y'all are mean to me. Why are you so mean to
Might
me?
as well just go ahead and pre-order the second kit now. You know you're going to need
Whatever. Worst case scenario is that I have to modify the legs so that they look like they're walking instead of standing.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
But I didn't know you were familiar with these kits.
Who, myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about them before.
Okay.
Yeah. I like them. There's some really cool ones out there. There's a lot of dirigible kits that are pretty neat looking.
Yeah, I
Dirigible.
have the Zero. It's a World War II Zero inspired walker.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Paint
describe
rack.
it.
Bitches.
Cool.
Wow.
Wow, you got a paint rack.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
It's gonna hold like a good 5-6 times as many paints as that one that $40 would have got me.
Yeah.
It's not as pretty, not
But-
laser cut, but
Oh yeah, that's cool.
You got that Zero. Yeah, that's one that I've wanted. I like that one a lot.
Patrick wants to know if Josh is specifically interested in Warcaster.
Unfortunately, I am specifically uninterested in Forecaster. Yeah, it just looks so generic to me, unfortunately. I mean, I guess we'll see. Our buddy John's got it. He's painting them up right now. He was on the stream last week. So I'm excited to see what he thinks of it. But I haven't actually checked anybody actually playing it. So I don't think there's actually instructions right now or possibly rules. We'll find out.
Patrick says he played his first game yesterday.
Okay, how'd you like it?
And now let's just all sit quietly while we wait for Patrick to type. No pressure, Patrick.
Come
It's
on,
just
Patrick.
the entire content of our channel is now based on the next few things that you
Resting on
type.
your shoulders.
it was epic.
You know, while he's typing, right? How about we talk about the fact that the real thing we didn't even talk about with Guild Ball is when the company basically said that everybody that was playing the game ruined it.
Right. I thought that was a joke.
No.
I thought that was a joke too.
No. They said that. That's what it is.
That it was too hyper competitive.
Yeah. That people took the game and played it the way that they wanted to, and didn't play it the way that Steamforged Games wanted it.
But who cares? So long as people are buying the miniatures, who cares how you play it? The bottom line
Clearly
is that,
someone.
right. The bottom line is that not enough people were playing it. That's
Sounds
the
like
bottom line.
Bad rules. Not people playing it wrong. Because people can only play with what they're given.
Here's people to your products and wanting to spend a lot of money on your expensive little toys is to put them down.
Yeah, I think that that's brilliant, honestly. That's what I'm going to do when I make my miniature company. What should I name it? FU Miniatures.
You played it wrong.
Pay to win.
Pay to win. Here we go. All right, let's see what he says here. Yeah, Kings of War, actually, we love that game. I mean, I love that game. I don't know about you, Aaron.
Dioramas.
Yeah, I love it. But the issue is there's just a couple power builds in the old edition that was like, you play that and you win. So that's that. What else we got here? Yeah, Warcry.
So Patrick, I liked it quite a bit. It was very different than what I've played in recent decade. My most favorite part is that every faction has the same recursion. Oh my god, I read that word right. That was unbelievable.
You did. I'm impressed.
No such thing as watching half your army die. I mean, you still watch half your army die. You just get to watch it come back.
Yeah.
Oh, why does it come back?
Because they have recursion.
Yeah, there's a game mechanic that when you lose stuff, you can put it back in and such.
Okay.
You're basically the summoning things back to the board.
Okay. I'm assuming I need to read some lore or an explanation as to why that is a thing.
The lore, actually, because you weren't here last week, the lore is that they go, Nemo goes to the Cyrus galaxy or whatnot, and all of War Machine is destroyed by the Infernals.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So War Machine is over because they're destroyed, but the Infernals take over and destroy everyone.
Oh, good. So War Machine's dead, huh?
Yeah,
What I heard.
if you look, it says the fluff seems weird. Is the reason for conflict is the stuff causing the war is running out, so they are fighting for it. And yeah, basically we're in the far, far future, and you're actually a warcaster. You're not like commanding.
And one of the armies looks exactly like Tau.
Very close.
They look exactly like Infinity models.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you are the warcaster running the dropship, and you use the Arc Incense to power your forces. I personally use Spice, but that's only because I come from Dune. So just want to be clear.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, that's
okay,
fair.
so you're bringing back dudes because you're dropping more dudes down in?
Yes.
Okay. So if you were a good commander, you would have dropped all those guys in at first and killed everyone in one fell swoop.
You only have so much energy to drop stuff, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Gravity is a pretty strong energy. That seems like you
Ooh,
focus on.
ooh, Aaron with the science.
I guess, but if you drop something from orbit, it takes a long time to get here, or it will be burned to a crisp.
Biotransference? Were we going to talk about that garbage?
Yeah,
No, that's Necrons.
All that is a brief explanation of the Necron tier, who were the mortals before Necrons made a deal with Satan. They talked to the dude whose name is the Deceiver, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, cool. We totally want to be immortal because we die really fast, and so we want to live longer." And the Deceiver was like, "All right, cool, you guys want to live forever? I got the secret for you." And they were like, "Cool." And then they did it, and then they became immortals, and then they no longer found happiness in anything, because when they left their bodies and went into the Necrons, this goes actually way beyond what they're talking about, and what I'm saying is a lot more interesting than the article. The Necron tier went into the machine bodies. When they left, their souls left, and the Satans actually got to kind of gobble this up a little bit. And then just kind of put them into the Necron matrix. Now,
I believe they were called soul furnaces. Is that correct? That they walked into?
Yeah. Yeah, they're soul transference. And now, then after that, of course, then you got the Silent King, who was like, "Oops, I should not have made that deal with the Deceiver. I should have thought of his name a little bit longer before I said that. So I'm going to put my entire race to sleep, bury you in planets all across the galaxy, and then I'm just going to go peace out for a while. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm out."
Well, hold on. First,
So
they
it was a
took
really
all
crappy.
of
It
the
was a really
Satans.
crappy singularity, is what you're saying. It was a poorly executed PC brand singularity, not anything like what Mac would have done. Once it's time to upload your
everything
consciousness.
that had happened to the
I want to look at Josh's face when I said that. I
What's
love
that?
Josh. Josh and I have a PC Mac feud.
Yeah, we do.
There's not really
It's
a
all right.
feud when Max just sucks, right?
Right.
Oh! Okay, anyways, hold on. So this is very similar to the Cybermen from Doctor Who. Just want to point that out.
Yes.
The other thing is you failed to mention that prior to them going to sleep, they decided, hey, all you Satan that made us destroy our souls to become robot people, we're going to enslave you guys and break you into a million pieces and then force you to serve us.
Right. There's that.
That's cool. You left that part out. That cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a whole lot of other cool stuff, like how Satan and Necrons were fighting the old ones, and they were also, the Eldar were also fighting in there and trying to kill the old ones. And I didn't know this up until recently, but the old ones made the orcs.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh,
Orcs made,
hold
like,
on, guys.
everything.
Hold on. Everybody stop. I'm sorry, Aaron.
Uh-oh.
Just real fast. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Knocking everything over. Oh, my God. Aaron, why? Aaron.
Okay.
What is happening?
I think he's...
It's my paint rack,
Oh,
bitches.
paint rack. Look at that! Yay!
It's
Hold
double-sided Velcro to the back of a refrigerator.
Hold
Wow,
on.
that looks
Let me
really
get that. Let me get that real big.
Real big.
I mean, again, that's no measuring, couple screws, bad drilling.
And you know what's going to happen? You're going to find out once you put all your paints up there, you have more paints in that rack.
You damn right I will.
And you're going to have to build another one. And where are you going to put that?
I don't know. Did you get your picture, Aaron?
I did. I showed it.
Awesome.
Oh,
Okay, sorry, back to the Satans, which I always thought was really entertaining, that they were basically just like, this thing's called Satan.
Like the vegan, like protein product?
Well, I mean, yeah, right? Like,
Exactly.
Satan is Satan, right? Like, there's obviously...
So yeah, the old ones created the orcs. They actually created the fungal spore that the orcs are, and the orcs themselves are just some, spore offshoot of them. But yeah, they were just kind of created as a self-containing, like living, self-sustaining, like ecosystem that was just genetically designed to fight. It's not exactly right, Jeremy is pointing out. Okay, so that's not exactly. He believes that the old ones created most life in the galaxy, Eldar being the oldest and humans being the newest, but orcs were created to be the ultimate weapon. Right, yeah, they made them to be like to just fight, but they're self-sustained, right? They spore, they can kind of pollinate a planet. So the old ones could defeat the Necrons. Right, yeah, exactly. Because the old ones wanted to defeat the Necrons. The Satan and the old ones, I think, met up first. And then because the Satan were spacefaring, well, they were eating up stars, I think. And then the Necrons still,
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. And then the Necrons still weren't in, like, once they actually were able to start flying into outer space, I can't remember how, they hooked up with the Satan, and they were like, hey, let's go fuck up the old ones. And then hijinks.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it when you make me learn.
Yeah.
Lore?
Oh, all right. And this is lore, so you're probably just blacked out for the last 5 minutes, didn't you?
Yeah, so I've been looking at, speaking of blacked out, I've been looking at Blackstone Fortress.
Oh, yeah?
And how I was super confused that the models were identical until you pointed out that they're not identical, they're just larger.
They're larger. Yeah, so I love Blackstone Fortress. I think it's a super cool game. I'm hoping to do a solo campaign here sometime soon. This is going to be the last expansion for it. And overall, it looks kind of disappointing for like the hyped up, this is it, this is going to be the end of the game. And what it is you remember those little spindle droids from the first one that were little 25 mil guys? Guess what? They're on 50 mils now.
Whoa!
Oh, dang.
Yeah, but they're actually gonna come with a 40 mil just to fuck with you again.
Well, fine. I'll get all my 40 mils that are supposed to be on my objective markers. For all my objectives on 50 mil bases. Thanks, GW. Last time I ever trust you.
Oh man, there are some finicky, fiddly little bits on this machine.
What are you building now, dude?
I am building the Gorilla Garage Kit.
Gorilla Garage. So the last expansion of Blackstone's coming out, and it's just 2 new models. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, because I also remember in their original teaser when they first teased, it might have been what was supposed to be that first Adepticon teaser. They said that it was going to have larger impacts on the 40K universe, and I kind of expected that there was going to be a few more models than chonkier Spindle Boys.
Come on, chunkier Spindle Boys are awesome though.
Oh yeah, Jeremy, you pointed out all the stuff that I was talking about was all like the old 3rd through 5th lore, and stuff's changed. Yeah, like Jokeros, Jokeros.
Jokeros, yeah, the little orangutans.
Juggalos?
No, they're orangutans.
No, there's no such thing as orangutans. They're orangutans.
Orangutans?
Yeah, there's no G at the end of orangutan.
Haringabangs.
Everybody pronounce it wrong, so don't feel bad. But there is no G. Go
Is it like
Google
the
it right now.
Berenstein thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except for there's literally no G in orangutan.
Okay, I'm
At
googling.
the end.
I'm googling
Okay.
that.
Yeah. See, I think this is all we're in that new universe after 2016 happened, where Berenstein and Berenstein. There was never Berenstein. It's always been Berenstein.
Okay, there is definitely no G.
Yep.
See.
Now
But
you guys just got smarter now.
well, no, I'm gonna check the pronunciation guide. Oh, and Josh is wrong in the first 3 sentences. Orangutans, also spelled orangutans.
Oh,
Where?
shit!
Oh, Wikipedia.
The real spelling is orangutan.
No, it says
Go to the zoo.
It says literally the
Bro,
literally
best comeback ever.
1, 2,
Go to
3.
the
It's
zoo.
it's the 4th word. The 4th word on Wikipedia is orangutan.
You're over here getting your education from Wikipedia. Go to the zoo.
Go to the zoo.
Why
I
don't you
love
look
it.
up the zoo's classification for them?
It's just words, man. It's just words on a page.
It's
Look,
just
it says the name orangutan.
Yeah, and then it says also spelled orangutan.
How's the pronunciation?
Well, I assume that when it has the G, you say the G.
So the
You
word
should.
changes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh.
You should be able to Google the pronunciation.
No,
Yeah,
I-
you can.
you can't.
I'm gonna do it.
you can't
Do it, Aaron.
You can't
Someone
do
do
that.
it.
It's not possible.
Hey, Aaron. Jeremy asked, can we see that dude from the Garage Kit close up next to the Marine?
Can we see? Yeah.
Yeah.
I put him on the an extra base from Marvel Crisis Protocol. This kit is really, really detailed. I mean, these, like, the gun barrel is a 0.5 millimeter wide.
There you go, buddy. There's your pronunciation.
And
Yeah,
then
he's a pretty cool model.
working on this part.
Oh, the hull, it looks like.
All right, what are you sending me, Josh?
Josh is over here fighting battles.
All right, I got another Google link, which is probably gonna open another instance of our stupid. It's gonna start another live stream.
It's not gonna.
Yeah,
start.
Jeremy, I saw that on the legs. He's got that exoskeleton thing going on. I dig that too.
All right, I don't know if let's see if it picks this up. Practice. Allow. Orangutan. Make sure you're in a quiet location and try again. Practice. Orangutan.
What are you doing?
I'm following his link. Try
No,
to say
you're supposed to push the play button over the person's face.
try to say instead of
Orangutans.
Okay, hold on. Everybody be quiet. Let's see if we can hear it. I don't know if it'll play through OBS. I don't know if I have it set it up right. Orangutan.
Waiting.
Orangutan.
Still waiting.
Wow.
It definitely does not have a G in it when you don't put the G in it.
Whoa!
It's the American
You
pronunciation.
don't put something in, it ain't there?
What is happening?
These guys.
What is happening tonight? What are
Hey,
we
why don't you try to Google orangutan pronunciation, because there is none.
Okay, I will.
How about
It says, "Did you mean orangutan?"
All right.
This is riveting content. This is riveting.
Nothing else really cool from GW unless you like Warhammer Underworlds. If you like, Warcry, there's that new starter coming out for Warcry that has the underground stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing. A lot of people, I immediately, and a lot of
Is there an article about that?
Yes. The announcement from yesterday. But it's gonna.
Is it you're talking about Underhive? Is that what you're saying?
No, Underhive is
Blades of Terror, Tiny Blood Bowl.
So yeah, there's new Snotlings. Those went on pre-order today for Blood Bowl. There's the Warhammer Underworlds new set that is I can't remember what the theme is. That's going to be coming out. There's new Necromunda stuff. There's some Necromunda Ogrin that went on sale today. If anyone really needs some Ogrin or Bulgrin that they need to be kit bashing, that kit from Necromunda looks actually pretty dope for some stuff like that. Dope.
What I need to find is aha, I found it.
And then there's a whole bunch of elf stuff coming out for AOS, but it doesn't look like much new elf stuff. It's a lot of reboxing and stuff like that. So I pretty much fell asleep as soon as they started talking about all the elf
The question is, where's the halflings? That's the question. What happened to the halflings?
They were eaten by the ogres.
I feel like halflings are something that I could get real into.
Halflings?
Yeah.
Well, you got dwarves. That's about as close as you're going to get.
I want halflings riding chickens.
Well, that's
just chickens?
Specific.
I think that's
Chocobos.
I think that's a real thing.
Halflings riding chickens?
Yeah, I think GW made halflings riding chickens way back in the day. Let's see. GW halflings riding chicken, which by the way it auto completed it, so it is real.
Well, if
that's how you know it's real.
Here,
yeah.
I got it. Fade. Yep, it's literally halflings right. Oh, and then I broke it. It literally is halflings riding chickens. It's a real thing, and they're awesome.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Don't really know how we got on the topic of that, but I think you said you wanted them and then pointed out how they already existed, so...
But I want well, you're saying they're bringing elves back, like reboxing stuff? I want them...
They're not...
I want the viewers to know.
I want them to rebox halflings on chickens.
What do you want people to know, Sean?
That I don't care about halflings on chickens.
Yeah, I don't care about elves in general for the most part.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with you, man.
I love elves.
I had the funniest conversation today with my sister.
What?
She was like, "So where do goblins live? Like, if Celia, because we call Celia a goblin, right? My 2-year-old, because she runs around and uses her hamster teeth to pry keys off keyboards and stuff like that. So we call her a goblin." She was like, "Well, where do goblins live?" And I was like, "Well, goblins live in a cave, right? But, I don't know if she's really a goblin. Goblins are a little bit more organized. Maybe she'd be like a kobold. And if she was smaller, I'd probably think she was a mephit, because it seems like she's doing shit just to, like, get at you, not to actually be evil, but I think she's too big to be a mephit." And she was like, "Yeah, I only have a Tolkien understanding of fantasy stuff." And I thought it was just really interesting, right? Because Tolkien, dwarves, elves they're kind of like the staples, and like they're neat, but I hate elves. That's all I was getting at.
Elves and Tolkien are so much cooler than elves and anything else.
I love elves.
Why?
I think
because
the cyberpunk
they're
universe is cooler than any others.
but it's never coming out, so don't hold your breath.
Oh, I'm sorry, Shadowrun, not Cyberpunk.
GW will sell STL files before Cyberpunk comes out.
It's only 87 days away now.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Breaking news. Mantic is producing halfling armies.
Oh, breaking news.
Breaking news from Jeremy.
So guys, back to hobby stuff. One of the other reasons that I wanted to build my paint rack, right? I got this dude. Super cool for a while, right? Holds the bottles upside down. Not a problem with Reaper mini paints because they write the names right side up and upside down. However,
wait, they do?
Yeah. So if you look at like a Reaper paint bottle, which is my original like series, I guarantee you can't see that. But the name
Holy
is right
crap.
side up and upside down.
That's genius. Why do I
Except for
GW
the
garbage?
dropper nozzles, when your paint sits upside down
get
in
clogged.
the dropper nozzle, you can't shake it and mix it up. There's no way to, even with like a mixing ball, it's screwed. You got to take it, you got to use a toothbrush and like clean it out in a sink and stuff like that. So, moving to glass, paint mixer balls, and right side up on all my paints for the rest of my life, because this thing was fantastic for a while until it was not. So
wait, what is a glass mixing ball? I thought mixing balls were metal.
No,
you
don't
can
want to use metal.
there's a whole bunch of different stuff, right? And I did a bunch of research. So the stuff that's sold by like Army Painter and Green Stuff World and some sort of miniature company are probably going to use a high enough grade of stainless steel to prevent rusting, right? But if you just get stainless steel ball bearings or like zinc nickel ball bearings, and Aaron, I'm sure you know way more about this than I do.
Dude, if you want to talk some zinc nickel, baby.
No, I don't.
Oh, baby.
All I know is that there's got to be some amount of, some quality of the stainless steel to prevent it from rusting in your paint. And we're assuming, because Army Painter makes paints.
How big are the glass balls?
They go anywhere between 4 millimeters and like 8 millimeters. Kind of
So,
range.
okay. All right. Sean. How many glass balls do you want to sell? Because I have literally 6 tons of 5 millimeter glass balls.
So what you do is you package them in bags of 50 and you sell them for $10 each bag of 50 plus shipping, and then you make a lot of money.
Wow.
So CGN needs to go ahead and produce that, because if you've
Get
got
your glass balls here.
Yeah, man. If you've got those on hand, dude.
Dude,
like,
I have glass balls that are as fine as sand. I have 4 millimeter glass balls. I have 2 millimeter glass balls. I have 5 millimeter glass balls. I have 8 millimeter glass balls.
I'm more
Why
interested.
do you have so many glass balls?
Yeah. What's with you in the balls?
I think the 8 millimeter is going to be better because obviously it's not as dense of a material as stainless steel, right? So I don't know what you have to do to equate how much glass is, equal to the standard 5 millimeter.
I mean, 5 millimeter is the bulk of what I have on hand.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, again, I don't think it matters. I bought a bunch of different stuff to try it out in the paints. But yeah, you don't want to use.
Dude, I am not gluing this gun on until the end. It is too tiny and fiddly. We do a process where I work called mechanical plating, where you literally smash zinc onto parts by using I'm not even kidding, a ton of glass beads inside of a hexagonal cylinder, and it rotates, creating a sine wave. And
I've seen it.
And he's seen it. So if you've ever seen Mythbusters, there's an episode where they weld 2 sheets of metal together by detonating C4 on top of one sheet, and the kinetic energy pushing down between the 2 sheets, not the heat, just the actual kinetic energy, welded them together. That is what happens in this process, where it's able to generate enough kinetic energy utilizing all of these glass beads in a specific way. And so I literally buy them by the ton to do that process, and I don't happen to have a jar with me. A long time ago, I made a whole terrain board, a 6x4 terrain board that was a crystal board, and it was all hexagon tiles.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And then the walkways. That's right. Then the walkways were all glass balls that were painted.
Nice.
That sounds super cool. I also want to see this machine in action.
Dude, come see it. It's real fun.
Sounds like
It's
it.
real fun.
It spits at you.
It goes like this.
It spins.
You know, it's real fun having literally cleared 50% of my desk off because of this paint rack.
That's awesome.
I'm so
That's why
excited.
don't
I
those.
just like hobby. I love my hobby zone.
They take up too much of my desk.
Yeah, man, the paints, the tools, all that fun stuff. Like,
I don't
I'm
know.
telling
I guess
you,
I could turn the camera, but I have the GW box set, which I love, and still have not opened a dry paint. And I guess I'm just the luckiest person in the world. And then I have the hobby.
Yeah, you're the
zone.
luckiest person.
I have the hobby zone paint rack directly in front of me. I have it. My 2 paint racks perfectly fit all of the contrast, texture, and washes. And then to the right, I have my full line of miniature airbrush paints. And then I keep specialty paints on a little thing, and anything extra is in the studio. And I love it.
You got a lot in the studio too.
Not anymore, but
No, that's all. It's all gone.
it's all split up now, back between our houses.
Yeah.
Well, before the end times, you had a lot at the studio.
Right
Before the
now,
end.
right now the studio, I took Adam to the studio every now and again, and he has set up an epic miniature battle between every miniature that he thinks is cool on a Marvel Crisis Protocol board. That was the last Marvel Crisis Protocol game that Josh and I played in the studio.
Yep.
It just looks
Nice.
really funny. Just drop some sprue clippings. LOL. I use BBs. I'm cheap. You can use BBs. I think BBs are copper.
Most BBs, well,
And
so you'll
zinc.
find
I think
those.
they're copper and zinc.
That's where you'll find the zinc stuff like that. And my experience with BBs are that they rust, right? So if you're gonna go ahead and haul ass through your paint, cool, more power to you. But I mean, I've had them. You can see, I've weighed things down with them before, and you'll see underneath, like the Elmer's glue, they're rusted inside of your paint bottle. If you're using a light color, like you'll see the rust in there. So like BBs are dangerous, right? I'm sure that
Yes.
some of them have. You shoot your eye out, Josh.
Okay.
Merry
But,
Christmas.
I'm sure there's some of them that have a high enough, quality of stainless steel that they're okay, or that they'll be stable in your paint. But I'd be concerned.
I need to go back to that statement about you'll shoot your eye out, because
Yeah.
my wife's family does not watch The Christmas Story. They think it's terrible, and they're wrong. And I just need you to back me up on that.
Yeah, that's a national treasure.
It's like that.
Yeah.
It's the one where they send all the letters and the guy gets deemed actual Santa Claus, right? There's that one.
Yeah, Miracle on 34th,
Miracle on
whatever
Miracle
it
on 5th Street, Elf, and A Christmas Story. Those.
Scrooged and I'm sorry, Die Hard.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, Die Hard was not actually released on Christmas. It was a summer blockbuster. It takes place at Christmas. So I do 100% agree that it is a movie that takes place at Christmas and has become a Christmas movie. I 100% agree with that. But it was a summer blockbuster release. It was not released as a
What does
Christmas
that have to
movie.
do with anything?
It has everything to do with it. A Christmas.
Everything.
It's like what's
What is that? It's a Christmas movie.
just because things take place at Christmas time does not mean it's a Christmas movie. But I agree.
Wait, didn't Miracle on 34th Street come out at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, Thanksgiving to Christmas is Christmas movie release time. That's totally
Oh.
legitimate.
I'm sorry, it has to be
Okay.
your dates here.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the ultimate Christmas movie, A Nightmare Before Christmas?
Dude, that's a Halloween movie. Sorry.
So that's a whole nother debate that we don't have time for.
That's a Halloween movie. Well, I made some good progress on this very difficult kit. I'm excited to have started it. I am going to put it away now. We are approaching that time
That magical time.
That magical time. Sean, absolutely incredible that you got your paint rack done live on live stream. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was
I'm
super
actually
fun.
really impressed.
And again, I didn't measure. I mean, I
I don't.
I
You know,
have
you're
asked
bragging. You sound like you're
everything.
bragging. I don't think you should brag about that.
Humble bragging.
I'm not sure about that part. I am going to one more time preview Tuesday's video, which is this competition video between DM Scotty and myself, where I challenged him, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, to do a garbage monster build-off. And this is what I created. It is a space marine being torn apart by crab arms into some sort of weird living rock thing. And I use water effects without messing it up.
It looks beautiful, actually.
I love it, man.
It took a long time. This old 40K video is like a half hour long. What was that? Sorry?
About 3.5 stars out of 5.
Oh.
Well, everyone is going to be ranking, and we will see who the winner is. But I'm very proud of it. My son very quietly came up to me and he was like, "Dad," and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Do all of your Space Marines have blood in them? And can I check?"
It was disturbing when you first told us that.
And I was like, no, it's just...
Can I check?
It's just this one.
Hopefully he never finds out Sheba has blood in them.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think he's like... I just think that he's aware that Sheba is alive. I don't know if he's quite gotten the grasp of sculpting. He's still a little one. He's still a young one. Well, thank you all for joining us. We are approaching that 90-minute mark. Remember to like and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you never miss an update. Please subscribe. We are so close to that 8,000 mark, and I cannot wait to give away the Indominus box set. I had to hide the Indominus box set from myself because I want to open it, and I can't do that because I need to give it to you all, our fans. So please, if you know anybody who is interested in our content, please share. Please tell them to give us a like and a subscribe. 75% of our views come from non-subscribers, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You would think that it would be the other way around. So we definitely want to grow our channel. In the past 14 days, we have gotten over 150 new subscribers. Right about there. So we are halfway. We need 250 in order to hit that 8,000 mark. So we need about another 100 people to subscribe, and I can give that box away. So please help us, be an advocate for us. Can I win a copy of Rangers? Yes, absolutely. Dave and I will be giving away copies of Rangers for sure. I don't know how many copies I'm going to again. The whole thing with the Rangers has just been, it was supposed to be a fun thing that we added on to the Kickstarter for the movie. And it was fun. And now 4 years later, it's really unfun. And originally we were going to do 2,000 copies, and it was going to be distributed to game stores. And the game did not get completed until February. And then COVID hit, and we're just like... what is the minimum order to purchase a game? And the minimum order is 500 copies. Because it's being published by like a real board game publisher. Like it's a proper board game publisher that make really, really big running games that you've heard of. And typically they do, print runs in the thousands. So 500 is their minimum order. We have about 100 that are going to be filled on Kickstarter. We're going to be doing 40 or 50 special editions that are going to come with the DVD. Then we're probably going to sell the rest with a digital download of the movie if you don't already have it. And then probably everything that doesn't sell after, 6 months of doing that will be giveaways. But I'm definitely going to get some giveaways for CGN. And Patrick, you can win a copy. The wife and I might actually play a game. TMI, buddy. TMI.
Right.
Burn.
All
That
right.
was brutal.
Well played, Aaron. Well played.
Once again, thank you all so much for joining us Sundays for this live stream. Remember, like and subscribe, hit that bell button, and we'll see you on the...
Table.
Tabletop.